Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and today we're looking at Hermes, Overseer of Elpis, 3 in a blue for a 2/4 Elder Wizard. It's one of the commanders from the... I can't remember which one it's from now. It's from one of the pre-con decks. I can't remember which one it is. Leave me a note in the comments, let me know, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get a 1/1 bird with flying and vigilance. And whenever you attack with one or more birds, you get to scry 2. Yeah, so we have a new card, slightly better than some of the older ones, because the older ones in blue that like to have spells cast, they had to be instants and sorceries to get the birds, or the drakes in some cases, but this one doesn't care. As long as it's not a creature spell, you get your bird. So, how have we beat Hermes? Well, blue is not my greatest colour to play, I'll be honest. Whenever I play mono blue decks, I tend to go wrong somewhere. But hopefully this one will change the record today. And I've kept it a little bit lower. So I'll go through as I go through it. So here we go. Hope you enjoy today's deck. To start off with, for me, again, it's a bit unusual for me. I don't play that many Planeswalkers in Commander. I know they're really good in some cases, but start off with 2 more today. Tezzeret, Artifice Masters here, just to give us another Thopter, or another flying creature. I know it's not a bird, I'm aware of that. But, you know, we do need some blockers, and Tezzeret does that. Or the draw card, if we've got some artifacts in play, or draw 2. And if we get the emblem off, well, we're going to be okay, I think. Teferi, the Temporal Archmage, is here just so we can do the whole draw. Look at the top 2 cards of our library, put one in our hand and put one on the bottom of our library. A little bit of filtering, but the untapping of the 4 target permanents is the main thing with this. Gives us a way of getting extra mana on the go. From there, we go to the creatures, and we have a slightly lower creature count than usual. There's only 15 in the deck. Starting with the Silver Raven, so we can do a bit of scrying. And then Tager, Master Opportunist. We should be casting a couple of spells each turn. Hopefully we can exile it, copy it, and then exile the spell you cast before time counters on its game suspend. So we get 2 uses out of the cards we cast, hopefully of the second spell, so that's good. Ultros, the Obnoxious Octopus, comes in from Final Fantasy's main set. We cast the main non-creature spell, and 4 mana spent to cast it, we get to tap a creature. And then if at least 8 mana was spent to something, we get to put 8+1/+1 counters on Ultros. I will be coming back to Ultros in the future, because I think there's another mono blue deck we can do around that, so we'll see. Chrome's Host Seed Shark lets us do the non-creature in incubation. And then Matoya, Archon of the Elder. Whenever you scry or surveil, draw a card, and you draw after you scry or surveil. Yeah, this is a really good legend from the Final Fantasy set for Commander, because you do spend a lot of time scrying and surveilling. If you think of all the lands that surveil, you think of all the ways you've got to scry, this just really gets going for you and makes sure your hands full all the time. From there, the Valley Flood Caller is also here. Pumps all our birds up by +1/+1, and we get to untap them. It's when we cast our non-creature spells. The Wingblade Disciple, we cast our second spell, we get another bird, so that helps with Hermes and the scrying effects. Archmage of Emeritus, yes, we have some instants and sorceries coming up, so that gives us a bit more card draw. The Clever Impersonator's here, so we can copy one of the non-legendary permanents or anything else we need on the battlefield. Murmuring Mystic is one I was talking about in the introduction, where we have instants or sorceries to give us more bird illusion tokens with flying. Phyrexian Metamorph also does some copying for us. We can go and copy anything we need that's on the battlefield that's a creature or an artifact. And then obviously I mentioned drakes as well in the introduction. Talaran, the Sky Summoner's here to give us those drakes when we do our instants and sorceries. Had a bit of fun with the Overlord of Flood Pits, because I like drawing 2 and discarding 1. And then also, same reason, Marang, River Regent. Now, this plays double duty for us in here. If we need to bounce 2 other permanents, we can do for 6 mana, or we can use the instant side of it for the Coil and Catch, because that will trigger Hermes and all the other things. Draw 3, discard a card. Seems quite good value. And because we are playing a deck where we're interested in casting spells, Hullbreaker Horror is a bit of a no-brainer for this deck entirely. The sorceries, we have 10 of them, and you can imagine what a lot of them do. Gitaxian Probe, we just stare at someone's hand and draw a card. Then we've got Ponder, to pick one of the top 3, or shuffle it if we need to. Preordain, scry 2, then draw a card. Serum Visions for draw a card and scry 2. Splash Portal, exile target creature we control, then return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. This is a great little way of giving you some protection from targeted removal, hence why it's here. If the creature is a bird, frog, otter or bat, you draw a card. Not so much that side of it, but it just protects your creatures occasionally from targeted removal. Blue Sun's Twilight is in just so we can gain control of a creature, and hopefully we'll get this to go off for at least 6, well, 5 plus for the X value, so we can get a copy of that creature as well. Beholder's Charm, or Bribery as we prefer to call it in realistic land. I just like the artwork, and going back to Beholders and D&D is always fun. We can search target opponent's library for a creature card, put it onto the battlefield under our control, and then that player shuffles. So yeah, it is Bribery, but I just like this artwork, hence why I haven't changed this one. Inspiring Refrain, just to do the whole draw 2 and exile it, and then the suspend 3. Rise of the Eagles gives us another 2 birds that we can have that are enchantments, and we get to do a little bit of scrying as well. And then Clone Legion, one of those big spells that again doesn't see much play in Commander. I think it should see more play, and it does. But you pick the person who's got the most creatures in play, and you just basically get a copy of every single one of them. I have done this once where someone had a Craterhoof Behemoth in play, hadn't killed anyone, and I had quite a lot of cards in play in blue. I think it was a blue-white tokens deck back in the day, and I bribed it, and yeah, nice. Anyway, from there, the instance, Endwalker, or Brainstorm as we prefer it. Again, I left this in here because it's the Final Fantasy one so people can see it. Draw 3, put 2 on your top from your hand on top of your library. Essence Flux, just to save one of our creatures if we needed to, against targeted removal. And then occasionally we're going to need High Tide. It's in here because I think we're going to need to have a whole load of blue mana at some stages, especially from our islands to go off with. And this gives us that way of doubling up our mana for a turn. Opt for the Scry and the card draw. Pongify and Rapid Hybridization to give us some protection against big annoying creatures that haven't got Indestructible. Repeal gives us some way of bouncing thing that is indestructible and annoying us and gives us a card draw. And then Strix Serenade. Counter target artifact, creature or planeswalker spell. You do give your opponents a 2/2 bird, which is obviously bigger than your ones, but at the end of the day, if it stops something being annoying, it stops something being annoying. A bit like Counter Spell does. And Dazzling Denial. Dazzling Denial is quite good in this deck, I have to say. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get a 1/1. So, you know, let that resolve first, then the Dazzling Denial reserves, they're paying 4. Thank you, that's great. Cyclonic Rift is here as a game changer. Again, Hope's Aero Magic. I left it as a Final Fantasy card because some people will recognise it that way, but it is basically Cyclonic Rift. Mana Drain for the literal more counterspell and control side of things. Mission Briefing to give us a Veil 2, and then we get to choose an instant or sorcery in our graveyard and cast that card this turn, and then it goes into exile. That's fine, I'm happy with that. Reality Shift again for a little bit of protection of Hermes, but don't forget, even if you target Hermes with this, you still get your bird token before this resolves. So yeah, oh no, sorry, wrong card. Ignore me. Reality Shift just deals with annoying things, especially indestructible ones. Thinking about something else I was building. Apologies for the confusion there. Think twice, draw a card, flashback, Brain Surge, draw 4, then 2 on top of your library in any order. The super version of Brainstorm. 2, the Crystal Tower, or otherwise known as Cryptic Command. Again, another card I left in this version because I know there's a lot of Final Fantasy fans out there, so leaving them in seems like a plan at the moment. Counter a spell, return a permanent, tap all creatures an opponent controls, or draw a card for 4 mana is fine. Transcendent Message is also in just so we can convoke with our birds at some stage and draw a whole load of cards to help us out. Yes, 4 blue is expensive, I'm aware of that, but you can convoke it and hopefully you've got quite a few birds kicking around to cut the cost down. Mystic Confluence gives you the choice of 3. Counter a target spell and let's say pay 9 basically, or bounce a creature and draw a card, probably each one as you do this card. Dig Through Time to give us the way of getting our top 7 and look at them and 2 in our hand, the rest on the bottom of our library in any order. And then when we need to shuffle everything back in, Commit to Memory is here just so we can shuffle everything back in and draw 7 again, which is nice, as well as countering something second from top. Artifacts, well, Elixir of Immortality is here so we can shuffle everything back in, which is really helpful when we're playing so few creatures we may not have a way of winning the game on the board. The Boots are here to protect Hermes, and then we've got Ramp with Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, the Greaves to protect Hermes, Mind Stone for Ramp, Medallion for Ramp, Sky Diamond for Ramp, Boots to protect Hermes, Thought Vessel to more ramp inside of it, and then the Crystal Skull Azuzu Spyglass is in from the wonderful world of Assassin's Creed, a 4 mana rampy artifacts expensive, but we can play historic lands and cast historic spells, so all our artifacts and any of our legendary permanents can be played from the top of our library at any stage. Well, when we can play them anyway. It's not instant speed, just bear that in mind. And finally, the Water Crystal. I just like having this as another way of getting the cost of our spells reduced. And yeah, we can do a little bit of milling if we've got 6 mana lying around at some stage. 10 mana for the crystals and hope to cast and activate on the turn you cast them is expensive, I'm aware of that. But at the end of the day, if we've got the Sapphire Medallion down, that comes down on turn 2, maybe the Water Crystal comes down on turn 3, and then we're looking forward to turn 4 quite significantly with a cost reduction of 2 on each of our spells. Not bad. 3 enchantments in the deck, nothing too fancy. A way of pumping all our birdies up to make them a bit bigger, so Favourable Winds is in. Thopter Spy Network is here just so we can get some more Thopters with flying and then draw some cards when our artifacts hit. And the big one is Gravitational Shift, which people seem to forget about. But creatures with flying get +2/+0, so it makes our birds, whenever we cast a non-creature spell, 3/1s. But it means everything on the ground gets a lot smaller as well by -2. So yeah, it's in here for the fun and games. The lands I kept really simple, I'll be honest. It's not a really technical deck for lands today. There's islands, 33 islands, Mystic Sanctuary to get an instant sorcery from our graveyard back on top of our library, Nykthos to give us that lovely devotion of blue, and the Skyline Cascade, that's it as well. Just so hopefully we can get to come to play and tap a creature down for a turn, basically stun it. And that's it. Now I know people are going to ask me why the Throne of Eldraine is in here. I was trying to play a deck without playing it, even though it is mono and it's usually one of the cards I do play. Technically, you could probably drop the Water Crystal or the Crystal Skull if you wanted to put it in, but I decided I wanted to play these and just leave the Throne at home today. But feel free to change it over and add it in, and that's it. That is my take on Hermes, the Overseer of Elpis. Now, I always struggle playing mono blue decks. I will do. But if you want to see me struggle and play it, there is a link down below to my stream. Please come and give me a follow over there on Twitch. There's 293 people on Twitch at the moment. We don't have many people watching this when we stream, but usually end up with like 10, 12 people, which is quite nice. And we've got quite a friendly community, so please feel free to come and join us one evening. And yeah, if you see me kicking around on MTGO as Rekmar1 as I am over there, feel free to jump in the game if I'm playing it. And hopefully you've hit the subscribe button here on YouTube, and I'd really appreciate you doing that as well. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with yet another one on the Final Fantasy Legends that has become a commander deck. So now, thanks for watching. Take care. Have a great day. And I'll see you soon. Bye.